Hello again, I'm Rob Carlson, and this is the fourth in the series about centering contemplative prayer. During this clip, we'll learn more specifically how to practice the prayer style. First, I'll ask you to choose a word that's sacred to you. It can be a simple word like hope, or joy, or love, or faith. Some will choose words that remind them of the presence of God, like God, or Jesus, or Spirit, things like that. The word you choose right now isn't as important as the work that the word will do for you. My word is agape, although most practitioners would say to choose a 1 or 2 syllable word. Now, have you chosen it? If not, don't worry. For our purposes today, most any word will do until you've found the one that best suits you. Know that we're not going to specifically use the word as a mantra to be repeated over and over and over again. However, now and again, it might be helpful to do just that. The next thing we're going to do is find our stopping place. Remember, stop, look, listen. Stop and get comfortable. Find a place to sit, relax, get loose. Place your hands in your lap with your palms up to receive what God has for you, and also for you to give to God what you have for God. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Breath in centering prayer is so important. It provides rhythm for your soul. And then we'll prayerfully consent to being with God. A prayer. Gracious God, I've come to sit with you, to be in your presence. Repeat your sacred word a few times. Now sit quietly and listen. Know that the idea is not, as maybe some of the Eastern religions, to empty yourself. The anticipation is to open our souls to be filled with God's presence. So we abide in this sacred space in order to listen. In fact, what we will learn is that God's soul and ours can and will become as one. Jesus talked about this in John's Gospel when he was praying to God. He said, Father, you and I are one, and may they be one like we are one. My paraphrase. Oneness with God. So, what's the first thing that you will notice? You'll notice when you start this process that your brain is going 100 miles an hour. One thought after another, and on and on and on, because our minds and our brains have developed such a way over these last 5-6 centuries that they're most difficult to turn off. It's true. It seems strange, but we can. We can turn them off, turn them slower. And when it does, when we intuitively become more and more aware of God. God's kingdom presence in the world, and of the sacred space that God has prepared for us, for you. Perhaps even since before time was turned on, the cosmic clock. So when our minds start thinking, and we become aware that we are thinking, speak silently or even out loud what your sacred word is, and it will act as kind of a buffer to interrupt the thinking about. Now, know that we will think a thought. The question is, what are we going to do with a thought when it comes? And the answer is, let it go. And how do we do that? We focus into the sacred word. Focus on the word for the moment. Not what it means. Don't theologize about it. Don't think about it. And just let your minds go back to a space for God in our souls. What we learn to do by means of our sacred word is to stop the thinking about what we're thinking about. It's true. What we're learning to do is to stop thinking about what we're thinking about. And we start thinking about what we're thinking about, say a word, we stop. Now, this takes practice, like anything else we do. An athlete will practice over and over again the same routine to build muscle memory. What we're doing with centering contemplative prayer is to build spiritual muscle memory. And the goal is not to accomplish some kind of divine happening. It's just to do it. And the results we can't force, we can't create on our own as well. All we can do is make the time and space to listen for and to God. Now, I'll be talking more about the process to and through the soul with centering contemplative prayer in an upcoming video to help further clarify what's going on when the prayer is happening. Again, the goal is simply just to do it. That's it. Simply to find the time to do it. So before you move into the next video, I'm going to ask you to repeat this same video, what we've talked about, to sit quietly, to get comfortable, close your eyes, say your sacred word out loud, take a few deep breaths, and for a few minutes, just listen. Yeah, your mind will probably race. And when you start thinking about what you're thinking about, say your sacred word. Don't think about what it means, just simply say it even 2 or 3 times, and then start listening to what seems like nothingness again, but it's not nothingness. And in the next video, we'll begin to practice centering contemplative prayer together.